met this redhead like a couple nights ago. She was real crazy, man. She was crazy for me. You know, she was getting hot and everything, and you know, that was when I was an alcoholic. So I don't know. I think I lost track of her. I think I have a number somewhere in my phone, but you know, I think they're tapping my phone, so like I probably shouldn't call her. She probably worked for the FBI anyway back in the day. Like, fuck if I care. I have these FBI bombshells like coming up to me all the time. They always ask me, oh, well, how about the fake artwork? I'd be like, okay, get out of here. You know, I know you're working with the feds. It's not even worth it. You know, even these girls were 10s. Like, I couldn't deal with it. I'll be in jail for 20 years for this shit. You know, it wasn't worth it. I mean, that's all I have to say about redheads, man. Jesus.
Bali was like a study of Dante in the tropical sun. Playing pontoon with Australians who just wanted to give their money away. It was a combination of 7-card stud and acey-deucey. Oh, they were shooting up and falling off their chairs. It was tougher at the cockfights up in Ubud. It seemed like when you bet on the small gray, the brilliant blue and green would win, and whatever it was, you couldn't really figure out if a fix was in. Evenings found me in the warm waters of the ocean with Durga, one of the lesser and more mischievous Hindu goddesses. And by day I would take a swim, but this day, no, I went out too far and they said, don't fight it, it'll take you to the coral reefs. No, and I fought it, and every muscle in my body cramped up, and the only thing that got me to shore was my will. A day later, I stepped on a palm frond, went straight through my foot, and found something else that was important, as you well know. Of course, a memory of Bali wouldn't be the same without Astrid, the Swedish girl who fell in love with every man, leaving the next day. And yes, I left the next day.
The truth rests in turtles. After checking into the Raffles Hotel, he wants to see Singapore by rickshaw, bouncing through the white paper lanterns and sewer stench of the red light zone until his runner stops dodging at a manor. Crouched inside a British colonial park, he's greeted with kind and professional smiles, escorted to the parlor and offered unblended scotch. He's encouraged to paraphrase his taste to match one of their international girls, and soon finds himself in a tall window room, talking Chinese with a student in pink negligee. She has the ivory luster of the classical Han. She's finishing up a small bowl of wonton soup, and the effect is so enchanting. He asks her opinion of the I Ching and its Western translations after leg. She feels his intellectual heat and continues to eat, demurely closing her eyes to rising expectations. She says the truth of the I Ching rests in turtles. The cracks in their backs reveal the cracks in ours, but her primary interest is William James, and they'd better get started. His Mandarin's flowing downhill. It's only been 10 minutes, but he wants to pay for another hour. He suggests she refill her bowl, watching her redefine the notion of motion as she glides to the sideboard. But just as she turns to frame his gaze, 3 goons burst in, check the sheets for stains, lift Frank up, and throw him through an open window to the thick magnolia bushes below.
Turtles have real rituals, not mock rituals.
Have mock turtle soup in fruit. And have
Well, mock turtle soup is the soup with the missing turtle.
Darwin said turtle if a human eat turtle, he never wanted to eat anything other than turtle. And became popular in Victorian England. So they did not, of course, have turtle to make soup. So they made mock turtles, which was an attempt to have paradise in your soup bowl.
Well, I think that when I go to the planet bid, then you'll have all society will be a mock Texas Red ritual.
It's true. It's already
it's already mock.
Already mock turtle ritual.
It's been mock Andy Warhol for a long time, and I guess eventually that has to wear out.
Texas Red have elevated Andy Warhol idea of art as fraud to maximum level. It's true, probably limit.
But do you recall, John, that Texas Red was born on this very spot, in this very, well, I was drinking wine, you were drinking beer.
Turtle were honored.
Yes, I recall. Texas Red said,
he always liked to be
I want to invent something that the world has never seen before. And that was a brand that takes over the world.
And even more depressed than Andy Warhol at times.
Well, no, that's something I can't speak to. But
Andy Warhol pretty depressed.
Pretty depressed. So we have a fraud that becomes a simulation of art as simulation, which becomes real art and sells for millions of dollars. But that's not good enough for me. Because I don't
have to sell for nil dollars.
nil dollars.
Nil dollars.
I see.
Or negative.
I haven't thought of negative dollars. No wonder Tony took his inspiration from the turtle.
See on a check by far. Void. I see this shit all the time. It's crazy. I don't even want to talk about it, man. I get too riled up. I don't like when I get all this riled up like this, you know? It's not good, you know, man. Like, I should just be focusing on the race and not on avoiding checks because, you know, that bullshit is enough to drive anybody crazy. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't even get it. What's even going on here? You see this guy? You see this guy right now? This guy right now, he's just like, I don't know, I think he's running out of gas or something. This is not someone we could have on our squad. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know, on our squad, we would... See, what did I just say? What did I just say? What did I just say? Is that what happened? I could tell. Before it even happened, I knew what was going to happen. That's what you got to do with artwork, too. You got to see it. You got to see that an artwork is going to hit or flop like it's a record. Like your fucking Morris Levy. And you got to know whether Tommy James or Chantel's are going to make a fucking hit or they're going to make fucking flops the whole time. That's it.
And what about that idea that you had about me going missing?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that? What do you think about that?
I don't know. I think it might work as like a performance thing, you know?
Well, I'm pretty obvious, though. I mean, I'm pretty big in my little scene. I mean, somebody's going to miss me.
Right. Well, I don't know if disappearing's the right thing then. Maybe, you know, just...
Well, it's easier than faking a death. I mean, if we want to, you know, build up the prices, I don't know.
Right, people think maybe he's dead and then they pay more.
But I mean, what I've heard is that the Russians... oh, this is interesting. This looks like something I did.
The Windows series?
Yeah, the Windows series. Yeah.
It's a good one.
It's a good one.
You got to go back to Windows. You know, I heard Basquiat had a lot of success with his
Windows
painting, especially, you know, when his girlfriend sold them 30 years later, Christie's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
The Thief. Frank investigates the night market, haphazard stalls of junk, lit with upstrung naked bulbs, absolutely nothing of interest, until he spots a young man in pajamas, sitting beside a wooden crate, cleaning a small vase with a toothbrush. Frank slides into conversation on the geometries of Qing porcelain and the 5 shades of Turkish blue. He buys the piece for $18, impressed with the man's knowledge of kilns, and is about to move on when the thief says, "Come back tomorrow night at the same time. I'll have something better." He does. And now, as 11 approaches, Frank thrills to the prospect of treasure, but troubled because he knows it comes from graves of rich overseas Chinese. He can smell the lime. He can hear the bells of expensive Taoist spells. He wants to quit, but it's private access to a major museum right here on this wooden crate. He can hold classical Chinese art buried for hundreds of years. He's bought 20 pieces. He's blown over $1,000 when the thief says, "Tomorrow night, I'll have a Ming. It's stupendous. A large demon dog vase, dragon design, very imperial." As Frank hands over $800 in 50s, the thief's placid face wilts. He sweats. He ages in slow ceremony. He turns the crate over and says, "Now I'm the enemy of my memory. Now I'm the enemy of my history." He wraps his eyes with a red bandana and stumbles slow away. Only when Frank's back in his room, admiring the porcelain on the bed, does it finally compute. He's a fool. He's busted. In the city-state where a parking ticket or a loud car stereo gets you caned and 3 years in jail, what happens to an American exile with a room full of forbidden graveyard goods who can't pay his hotel bill?
But you weren't always a turtle, were you?
No, it's true. Had identity crisis.
Oh, I see. I see. Well, we've played some great games of chess together, John. I'll miss those. But it is astounding that you were... I recall that the idea of Texas Red was born out of our conversation.
It's true.
It's true.
It is true. Turtles, very modest creatures. So not comment further. Many, many turtles in Scotland, Illinois.
There's water in Scotland?
Oh, it's all around.
It's all around.
Not to mention big famous lakes with monsters.
Yes.
Yeah, you think there is a monster and there are no turtles? It's a problem of many American scientists on Loch Ness.
Loch Ness turtle, of course.
Many
a rather elongated turtle, maybe without the shell.
No monster, but many turtles.
I know why you became a turtle. You became a turtle because you wanted to live to an old age without any trouble. Right?
It's true, they make old turtles.
Well, a man can become a turtle and live to be very old age.
Yeah, very old.
And your habits are your shell.
And my shell is my habit.
guys sure can go. Well, you know, I've been watching karts since like I was about 11 or 12, and I used to place bets with my friends in middle school on go-karts, and I used to always win. I was almost better at this than I was at shooting craps. But sometimes in craps, I would get 7-11 like nobody's business, man. Like, you know, back to back all the time. But you know, when I take it to the go-kart track, I take it down here. We have the ones out. We'd be throwing them around like crazy. And if someone ever slowed down like this, he's a piece of shit, right? You know, we would take it to them, man. They cannot take a fall like that. That's taking a fall right there. That's what that is. You can't do that, man. You got to check out this orange guy. This orange guy's great. Already starting off strong. You can tell he's rolling around the track. You know, this kind of brother that, you know, we would really like, we would stake out, man. We would watch these guys. We pit them against each other, and the race would come, man. You know, it'd be Sunday night. You know, all the lights on and everything, and the girls screaming and all that stuff. And man, that'd be crazy. And that was like one of the first real hustle I got into. You know, like one of the first legitimate real hustles I got into.
Well, seems like things are on track pretty much. I mean, the Russian money's going down, but maybe the Chinese money. Anything there?
Yeah. I talked to a couple Chinese entrepreneurs that came through the other week. They were asking about Kippenberger, Warhol, the usual kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But, you know, I turned them on to some TR, and,
Okay.
you know, we'll kind of see where it goes from there.
Okay.
I think they like the Van Gogh. They're looking at Midnight Van Gogh as a possibility. And
Did you talk any numbers or?
yeah, we started to, and then the conversation changed, and they were going back, well, how about this Rocher print, this Alex Katz, you know, the big names right now. They're new boys, you know, they're new to the game.
They don't know
how to
anything.
edit. Yeah, exactly. They just, you know, all they want to do is just kind of run the numbers.
I gotcha.
So.
I gotcha.
Pteripterix. He jokes with the bellboy in the lobby, then walks down to the pawn shops, hoping some miracle will turn his Hong Kong Rolex into cash. No chance. They just smirk. But he finds a $5 bill stuck in his passport and decides to try the racetrack. It's a 5-mile smog walk, $1 admission. He checks the daily racing form with some friendly Chinese students and finds Pteripterix in the first. He's a big black colt named after the flying reptile. Broke down in his last race, but won at this distance 9 months ago. Starting from the far outside post, number 22. 55 to 1. So Frank bets $4 to win and climbs up to the covered balcony to watch last money run. Pteripterix rushes to the lead, clear by 3 lengths at the quarter pole, clear by 5 coming to the stretch. It's the logical spot for him to quit, but he kicks out and wins by 10. Frank parlays his ticket into $2,500 by hitting 3 later exactas, buys German binoculars for the friendly Chinese students, loses a photo finish, and cashes $1,800. It's enough to pay the Raffles bill and restore some cushion to his cranium. He's sitting at the Singapore airport, guarding 2 large soccer bags filled with antiques and newspaper, thinking maybe the smell will give them away. Maybe he should just let everything go. He's edging to the adjacent waiting room, but his name still hangs big on the tags, and unattended baggage gets picked up fast in the New World Order. He sees port security coming, hears the boarding call, so he bluffs, shouting and blustering about legroom, until he's surrounded by nursing mothers and babies, stowing the bags above a bulkhead seat, thanking his new guardian angel with the scales, claws, and marvelous wingspan.
I don't believe that coke is. I mean, Arthur never touched the stuff. I know. I wouldn't.
I mean, you don't have to touch the stuff to feel the stuff.
Well, I think I'm done with painting. I think I'm going to go into exile.
You already said you are in it.
Well, I'm thinking about it.
Maybe it'd be good for the art.
Maybe. I've done enough art, really. The world doesn't need another Texas red painting.
You do. Oh, I'm sure you'll sell another painting, you get another commission, you know. That's how it goes, it's the game.
Yeah.
I don't know. I met her a couple times, you know, she's like kind of cute, but you know, I don't know. Her music is trash, man. I don't know, I can't get into it. Just can't, it's just like bad pop, you know? It's like, how many bad pop artists do we really need now? I mean, not that I need to listen to free jazz every day either, but you know, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, we don't need anything that's like that blatantly bad, like out there, you know? It's like, I feel the same way about art. Like, we don't need blatantly bad art, even if we can make money off it. There could be an in-between, man. You know, people just think in this binary, you know, binary fashion. It's just not okay. They're new boys, you know, they're new to the game.
They don't know anything.
Yeah, exactly. They just, you know, all they want to do is just kind of run the numbers.
I gotcha. I gotcha. Well, I really appreciate all the work you've been doing for me.
Yeah,
It's a great job. Doing a
yeah,
great job.
And I was going to mention to you that, you know, someone was coming by, met up with me in New York, caught me kind of off guard. They were like asking about you, but it didn't seem like a client. Didn't seem like someone interested in the art. It seemed like someone who was, I don't know.
Well, was he dressed in black? I mean, was he talking about going to other planets or something? Weird stuff like that?
No, it was just really formal. Like, when was the last time you saw Texas Red? Was he at the Cindy exhibition? What did he say there? That kind of stuff, you know?
Huh. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I just kind of said, oh, I don't know what he's doing. He's painting somewhere,
right,
in Europe or something. You know, I didn't go too much into it, but I don't know. This is the first time that happened.
Yeah. Huh. Well, I wouldn't put any stock in it. I mean, there's nobody looking for me, really. but we could get some people looking for me.
Hit by a thunderbolt. After 5 hours of flight, Frank falls asleep and enters his recurring dream. He's curled on the metal mesh bed when he's rousted and taken to the visitor's room. His father's there, wearing beige polyester slacks and tennis shoes with cutout toes, screaming diabetes. "Something I forgot to tell you," he says. "Don't let them screw you in graduate school. After Caltech, they promised me the moon at USC, but it was all lies and departmental politics. I was furious. I took the master's and left. Big mistake. Made everything harder. I wanted to teach, but the only thing I could find was San Bernardino State, and it wasn't enough to feed a growing family. So I went into electrical engineering and ended up working for Howard Hughes. Stay the course, son. Finish your PhD." "Dad? Did you come to bail me out? Did you ever call a lawyer? Dad, are you even here?" And another thing he says, "You could get a job at a gas station. You think it's demeaning, but a job like that can fix what's wrong with you. It's not your fault. Trust me. Belief in something and a normal job can help you transcend the problems in our Glendover blood." Frank wakes spooked and shaking, hit by a thunderbolt of personal alchemy. His father's a fake. The dream's a maneuver. He's really the twin brother of Ilyich Sánchez. It's not about the workers. It's not about the people. It's about the power to break with fate. It's all about choosing the father you want.
May I have your attention, please? The plane will be landing shortly. We have been diverted to Copenhagen, Denmark. All of you will be placed on a new flight to London as soon as possible. We are sorry for the inconvenience. Please fasten your seat belts. We will soon be on the ground.
Mr. Green, I believe you may have found me.
Well, I see introductions aren't necessary. Texas Red, I presume. Listen, the reason I'm in your car, I apologize. I hope I didn't startle you, but there's a man, Mr. Blue is his name, and he's hired me to inform you that he has a commission that you cannot refuse.
This has all been anticipated, Mr. Greens. I'm quite familiar with what you're about to say.
There's something fishy, though, Texas Red, about this guy. There's something not right with Mr. Blue. I keep thinking that it's coming from a higher voice than him. He's a hack, but the message is he's telling me is something that might be coming from the government, the FBI, CIA, the company. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. You know anything about this Mr. Blue guy?
More than I can relate, Mr. Green. But I was on my way to do a little fine-tuning of our technology, so you're happy to, if you have nothing better to do, I'd be happy to introduce you to what we do.
The technology, is this painting or is this something else?
Well, it's something else, Mr. Green. It's the Roddenberry 9. We meet every once in a while. We do explorations and we do contact. And, well, let's just say that what most people think of as the world is a very, very, very small piece of the world. But anyways, you don't look like you have much else going on right now, Mr.
Explorations. You're going to think this is funny, but you see this jewelry I have on?
Yes.
Ever since I found this scattered on a beach in the Pacific.
Did you know?
And as soon as I put it on as a gag, my life's changed for the better. Lots of good luck. And I look at it now as like a lucky rabbit's foot. Yet, there's other pieces of this jewelry. If you hold it in your hand, it's like you see this vision that you can't figure out if it's from a dream from the past, a memory in history, the present, if it's the future, and if it's even on Earth. So I'm not sure exactly the properties of it, but it's a barren wasteland, like a desolate landscape. And it brings on profound anxiety. So yeah, would you want to look at this piece?
I have had this piece in the past. What you're holding, what you're seeing, Mr. Green, is right on the cusp between magic and science. It's a kind of a time slip where the future can leak into the present and we can actually figure out what's going on. That piece of jewelry is a very, very important trigger. And it has a story and a life of its own. So, just a note of caution.
Can you, would you be, could you bring this technology to my office to check it out first before we go to the Roddenberry 9?
That's exactly what I had in mind, Mr. Green.
Okay.
Let's, you will be number 8. We don't have names.
Number 8?
Yes, you'll be number 8.
So Roddenberry 9. So you have guests or something?
Yeah, from time to time, yes.
Okay. Number 8.
You're number 8.
Okay.
Here we go. Here we go. did you see?
I think your technology works.
Of course.
Remember, I was saying that it felt like there was like this dark landscape, like either apocalypse from the past or the future. But now I know what it's supposed to do. I think we both know what this trigger's supposed to do now. It's not as scary as it once was. I'm just not as bad. What happened? What happened to the...
Carlos.
Who's Carlos?